welcome back to Life is Strife. And you know what? I think I've had the ultimate epiphany with my ultimate frustration with Chloe here. So, you know how the plot is going on about how Chloe is terrible because she had a bad past, right? And we gotta help her.
Yep.
So, here's one thing that comes to mind.
Previously on Life
Why is she so special? Like, consider this. Maybe Nathan is terrible the way he is because he has something messed up in his past. Maybe Victoria's messed up the way she is because she had something bad happen in her past. Like, my issue is that there are a lot of terrible people in this cast, but why is Chloe the only terrible person who we're supposed to give the benefit of the doubt and all this help to? And yes, I know that we did help keep Kate from jumping, but in regards to pretty much everyone else in the cast, we just assume that they're terrible without maybe looking into why they're terrible. Which, like I said, just increases my frustration. Why is it only Chloe we're focusing on? And I know some people will say, oh, well, Nathan actually killed Chloe, so he's worse than her. May I remind you that Chloe actually did want us to shoot Frank back in that junkyard, so yeah, she ain't exactly above murder herself.
Check out these files.
Yeah, basically.
I gave some context because there was like too much to go into, but I gave enough context to Alice about Chloe, and her response was, "Why is it always the queer characters that have to be shitheads?"
I can't believe she
To be fair, Chloe is far from the only terrible person in this cast, so I wouldn't say it's a case of just the queer characters being bad. Mind you,
it still kind of is, because even if you're right, which you are, it still just adds another shitty queer character to the pile.
Be sure to...
That's the off thing.
A mile high, you know?
That's the off thing, Shiroi. From what I understand, like, the gay community really adored this game because of its...
I don't know why. Chloe's an awful person, but go on, Pedro.
Sure, be sure to give Alice my recommendations that I've said before, like Tell Me Why, Bug Snacks, and surprisingly, Life is Strange True Colors.
They're not usually her type of thing, but I can mention them, like, anyway.
But yeah, so like I've mentioned, we are now in a timeline where arguably almost everyone is better off. Like, hell, even David's not as terrible a person as he was in the old timeline now.
Well, Chloe is
just a bus driver.
Well,
you know what's sad, honestly?
like she always said, karma.
And you know what's sad? Chloe's actually still a better person in this timeline.
Why is it in fiction? In order for someone to become a better person, they almost always have to be crippled or something.
It's to always give the protagonist a reason to want to change time back to how it was before, because...
Unfortunately, sometimes disability is seen as a punishment, which it's not, so the writers are just being pretty fucking ableist right now.
It's like it's not like disabled or anything, but it's like when the writers of Legend of Korra were like, okay, yeah, we fucked up Korra's character. Let's just kill her off halfway through season 2 and wipe her memory.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's like I said before. I know Nickelodeon for a lot of mandates on that show, but I'm pretty sure there was no mandate saying make Korra unlikable.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. You know what? While we can't be sure, I do absolutely get where you're coming from, like, and I get the feeling that Korra growing that unlikable was not the plan, given how the writers went about changing her. I will give them credit, she did eventually get her memory back by the end of season 2, so it wasn't a complete cop-out, which is more than I can say for other bouts of media. That being said, it still had issues, like, I will say this. Legend of Korra is a series that I feel ended on a good note, but it still had a very, very rough ride getting to that, especially with Book 2.
The problem is that by the time it got good, it still wasn't exactly great, and it was a bit... By that point, a lot of people, including myself, were just done, you know?
Let me put it like this. Season 3 is quite possibly the closest the show gets to the greatness of the original Avatar, so I would call Season 3 great. Season 4,
so pretentious.
I call that simply good.
I love writing.
Okay.
It's not amazing.
You deserve the best stationery.
But yeah,
Right,
I've always wondered actually. Sometimes people on their wheelchairs have these little things on the side of them, like little dishes on the side of their heads or under their chin. What's that for?
Pretty much.
It's basically okay. I assume it's because
treat me like a baby.
all the backbones probably got shattered to the point where it still keep her in place without causing her more pain.
Probably, yeah.
This is seriously the best view of the sunset.
Oh, pay attention to this, guys. Now it's time for the game. Try to do irony in a moment.
See? Without you here, I'd have no clue. Bet you could take some amazing shots.
I never got what was the point of the beached whales, honestly.
It's a part of the whole apocalypse thing. Don't worry, it doesn't go anywhere.
At least I'm alive here with
See,
you.
now, you explained that to me. I've known about this game, but I never was able to tie the whole beached whales to the apocalypse thing.
The game barely focuses on it.
See, here's the thing. Beached whales are a thing that happen in real life. You know, like, well, now the snow in summer, that's something that obviously does not happen in real life.
Talk about
let's see.
Talk about accident.
Talk about the accident. We never actually have, huh? There's not much to say.
And yet, get this! In this timeline, it feels like Chloe does not blame everyone for her problems. Even though, arguably, I could understand her being a lot more rage-filled in this universe, but no, she still is a better person in this timeline than in the old timeline. Which, again, are they trying to make us bad for wanting a Chloe who's, you know, not a dick? Like, oh, you want a Chloe? Like,
That's the thing. I don't like this Chloe either, but I'll have to wait until later in the part to explain why.
well, again, we haven't gotten to that point. So,
Yeah.
in the context of now, but yeah, you know, have you ever heard this mentality? If you can't handle me at my worst, you can't handle. You don't deserve me at my best. I feel like that is the mentality with Chloe as a character, which is.
You did?
No, I have never really dug that one. Yes, relationships are not always easy, and there will be rough patches, but Chloe's a leech at best and an absolute terror at worst, in the old timeline anyway.
Yeah.
It just seems
I'm worried about what they're gonna do with her here.
Oh, Sheila, you should. You should.
Okay, I'll just say this. For now, consider her the better Chloe, and God, even knowing what I do know, I still consider her the better Chloe.
Chloe.
Like, I do know what's coming, Pedro, but even with that, I consider her better in this universe than she is in the old timeline, because, hey, at least she's not, you know, literally stealing money from the handicapped. I mean, she is the handicapped, but...
Oh, hold on, here we go.
She is not as deplorable.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was during that bit. But we're about to get in any moment now.
It is
Yeah.
hella cold out here. Hella? I hate that word, no offense.
Ha! Irony!
None taken.
You know what? I'll take it. At least she realizes that that word was used.
It also, you know what that comes across to me? It comes across as the writers, because remember, by this point there were plenty of hella memes. So I get the feeling the writers were aware and they wanted to, you know, try to make it.
Like,
See?
please stop.
See? We're in on the joke too. No, guys. Sorry, Michael. Sorry, Raul. You can't be on the joke and in on the joke at the same time. That doesn't work.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt in the sake that this is Chloe from a different timeline where she didn't end up being into all that cringy dialogue and stuff, so
Fair,
I'd
but
say it's fair enough game here.
fair, but I definitely will have another thing to pick up on when we get to episode 5, because episode 5 they definitely go for it. So
Oh boy, episode 5. But yeah, no, seriously though, this really does touch base into the missed opportunities. So we're all on about helping Chloe and stuff. Why are we never in about helping the other people in our lives? Like,
because
yes,
Joe,
maybe
Chloe's the only person in the world that matters. Our world revolves around Chloe, don't you see?
Childhood friend, you know, love interest. It's like-
Is she still like that in this universe?
No. Well, Jova was questioning the attitude of the writers towards Chloe, not Chloe herself.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Dwibs, in this universe, Chloe is not the horror that she is. Sorry, she's not the horror that she is.
They don't sound stupid cliche thing. Oh, Chloe's got back what she wanted. The only problem, she's disabled now.
But you're still amazing.
That's, again, the sad thing is she's still a better person in this timeline than she was in the old timeline. Which, again, makes me wonder if this is the writers trying to subtly guilt trip anyone who prefers Chloe, like, you know, nicer as opposed to how she turns out to be. Oh, you can't handle the real Chloe. Now look at what happens when she's better the way you want her. Now she's suffering.
Drink up, Buttercup.
Drink up, Buttercup.
But hey, look at another thing that Jova that would definitely side with Jova on is that this Chloe. Well, then again, we never asked the other Chloe about her movies, so
Face right now. A podcast. Dude, I am a pod in a cast.
Anyway, you were saying, Pedro?
What kind of joke is that? A podcast, a pod in a cast. Like, that's so lame. See, she may be better, but she still makes lame jokes.
Anyway, you were saying?
I was saying that, like Jova said, she has better taste in movies than Max, at least. Like, I mean, we never saw OG Chloe's taste in movies before, but this Chloe loves Blade Runner. Okay, I love that movie too. Cool, let's watch that.
They also like Power Rangers, apparently.
Well, Power Rangers is awesome. I mean, there's so many Power Rangers have been around for so long. It's like the Ninja Turtles. They've been around for so long that every generation of kids has their own preferred version, basically.
Watch her turn out to have her favorite be Samurai.
or Turbo, or Megaforce, or Operation.
Turbo wasn't that bad.
Okay, let's be honest. Turbo was a series that nearly killed Power Rangers for quite a few reasons.
I guess.
So I definitely get the disdain towards it.
I'm sorry, John. I have to point that out. Did you notice what she just said right now, Shirai? She said, "I'm not trying to guilt trip you."
I know.
Keep that line in mind for a few minutes from later.
They always pop it.
No, for later. Go on, Jova.
I mean the gamers, but anyway, go on, Jova.
Max.
I'm... Honestly, though, this... Okay, for now, the writing is fine. What I really do wonder is maybe we could have,
keep the numbers away from me, but it doesn't.
Okay, did we really have to have this? Like,
No.
and I get it, usually the formula is this or that. However, may I point out another problem that once again we kind of forgot the fact that, isn't Arcadia Bay supposed to be destroyed or something? Like, again, it feels like the game kind of just forgot about that.
That's the thing, Jova. In this timeline, Chloe's now heading towards death, like it's just that she's dying a slow, painful death instead. So God's plan to kill Chloe is still in motion. It's just going slower.
Question.
Yes?
The line where she says, "I'm not trying to guilt trip you," what was that in response to?
About how she can't walk and that she wishes she could, do things like they used to back when they were kids or something like that. Blah blah blah. I forgot the exact wording. I was, busy listening to Jova, so I don't remember the exact context. But trust me, sure, it doesn't really matter for why I pointed it out. Trust me, you'll see exactly why I pointed it out. Go on, Jova.
To her credit, for that one moment, she actually does mean that she's not trying to guilt trip Max.
Definitely.
Which again, going by Chloe's standards, as far as we've known her throughout this game, is nothing short of a miracle.
Pirate power, yeah. So yeah, back when they were kids, they used to play pirates. We'll see this in Before the Storm's farewell episode. There you go.
Here's the DVD.
Here's the Blade Runner DVD, and put it on the DVD player.
I guess it's like a cheap knockoff called Sword Sprinter.
Not that we know.
Conveniently shown off screen.
I mean,
That would be a pain in the ass for the commentary if it was on screen.
Well, I mean, as I quote, conveniently, we're not seeing what they're seeing.
Yeah, again, like, they could be watching that cheap knockoff.
Line?
Fade to
no.
black. Well, well, to be fair, they were, focusing on the movie, so.
I guess the weird thing was just the long hold on that.
I guess the game wanted to, look, see, there you go, two girlfriends watching a movie, like trying to sell us on the moment, basically.
It's fine.
So yeah, Max fell asleep.
I cannot believe you fell asleep so fast. How dare you? I know you were beat down after the day with me, and Blade Runner is a pretty dreamy movie to watch at night.
True.
Do you think Deckard is a replicant?
Oh, come on, Chloe.
To anyone who has not seen Blade Runner.
Well, I don't know, Joe, but just saying that out of context doesn't really spoil anything.
Are you okay?
Well,
I do have a mother and
I
father.
wonder if it's just a shame there isn't a sequel to this after Blade Runner 2049 came out.
Well,
Mine,
From what
very few people watched that movie,
It
so
was great.
I've heard that movie was actually not bad.
It's actually fantastic, actually.
yeah, it's just in hindsight though, making a sequel to something that didn't exactly set the box office alight in the first place.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that Blade Runner was never a box office jargon to begin with, so a sequel to it was never going to make money either, so...
So, Pedro, is Blade Runner 2049 a case where the sequel is actually even better than the original?
Well, I don't know if I go that far. They're both excellent movies, it's just that, the original was, of course, much more groundbreaking, obviously.
I do know that the sequel had a lot riding on it, given how beloved the original was.
Oh, yeah, sure. The fan base loved it, it's just that the fan base, sadly, is not enough to have the movie turn a profit.
I get what you mean. Alright. As for what you said, Drips, and what Pedro's told me, there's a chance that there might be a Life is Strange 4 that apparently returns.
Basically, allow me to explain, because I can easily recap what's happening now. Basically, back before True Colors was announced, there was someone on Reddit who went on Reddit and said, okay, Life is Strange 3...
Oh my god, guys! In this universe, it was Alyssa who stole the toilet paper!
Alright.
Oh my god!
So yeah, in this alternate timeline, Alyssa is a bitch.
You see, you either die getting toilet paper thrown at you, or you become the toilet paper thrower yourself.
Alright, go ahead, Joe. Cool, I got a buttload of homework and we'll get together soon. Joe?
Don't tease me, it's been too long.
I know, I'll see you soon. Oh, basically what happened, let me recap this. Basically what happened was, William sent us a message on Chloe's phone saying, hey, this is William. If you want to contact Chloe, you can still use this number, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Chloe, Maxine here. I know it's been a while. I just wanted to let you know I'm going to Blackwell Academy now. I hope this is still your number.
Blackwell, it's so awesome. You rule. Best of all, we can hang again. So, yeah, this is still my number.
Cool. I got a buttload of homework, so we'll get together soon. We already read this. Okay. That's basically it. I can easily recap the rest. Basically, both Victoria and Nathan are now friends of Max, because remember, she's in the Vortex Club now.
Makes me wonder, maybe they're more decent people in this timeline as well.
Anyway, to address what Jova just said, keep in mind, everybody, this is a rumor still, despite there having some believability, so of course take this with a grain of salt. Okay. So basically, back before True Colors was announced, there was someone on Reddit who actually put up a post saying, oh, by the way, guys, Life is Strange, I know about Life is Strange 3, and it's going to be subtitled True Colors, and it's not going to have neither Max nor Chloe, and blah, blah, and basically he or she described the game to a certain point, and later on it was confirmed, and he said, oh, it's not going to be episodic like the others, it's going to be entirely released, all 5 episodes all at once, and guess what? All of the stuff that person said on the Reddit post turned out to be true. So we do at the very least have to give that person at the very least some amount of believability. Either that person got really, really lucky, or that person does indeed have some kind of connections. So, and apparently that person also heard and said in that same post that there's was already plans for a Life is Strange 4, and apparently this one will have be a proper direct sequel to this one, where it's going to have Max apparently now as a photography teacher apparently, and it's apparently solving so again, it is. I can see that being a thing, because I can tell after True Colors was a sales flop, which is sad because that game was genuinely a huge improvement over the previous ones. After True Colors was a sales disappointment, I can see Square Enix telling Deck 9, just make us direct sequel to the original, because that way we can milk nostalgia for it and blah blah blah. Basically.
That raises a lot of,
10 years old.
however, that raises a lot of questions given the ending of this game, which
You look exactly
really
the
can
same.
lead one to wonder how they would make a direct sequel to this game, but that is something better explained in the finale.
Yeah, not to spoil anything, everybody, but let's just say that both endings of this game don't really lend themselves very well to a sequel. But again, I don't know. We'll just have to see in how it goes. Anyway, to explain what's going on here, basically, William and Joyce are trying their hardest to pay all the medical bills, but of course, it runs them dry. Basically, Joyce is working for the Prescotts. For as much as she doesn't like it, they pay well, so she has to. And William, basically, according to Chloe, Chloe's medical stuff is costing them $1 million per year.
Sounds
basically.
Like well.
Sounds about right.
More than I want to. But Joyce has to work for those greedy bastards.
Even round here, you can't rely on the NHS entirely if you had something like that. I don't think, anyway.
Rachel Amber.
Unfortunately, insurance only covers so much. When it's a prolonged medical thing like
Oh.
that, yikes.
Oh, okay. I just brought up Rachel. I actually wanted to expand on my earlier points I made about Rachel Amber that I didn't do yet. And since this is we still have to go up there and get Chloe's morphine. This gives me time to do so. Allow me to explain something about the whole idea of the prequel before the. Oh,
Sorry.
come on, Shiroi. Don't blame the plate. Blame the food. But anyway.
Sorry.
I don't know how to say this, but
Where was I? Oh yeah. Okay. So.
really sorry about what
As me and Joy have talked about before, the prequel is going to take place when Chloe meets Rachel. Here's the problem. As you've seen throughout this game, the game has been, really building up Rachel as a really interesting character, thanks to all the various different impressions we have from everybody in Arcadia Bay. Here's that creates a problem for the prequel, because now that they're actually going to have Rachel show up, now the writers have to live up to the hype that the fans have built while playing this first game. And yeah, and not to mention, since Rachel's character is kept vague in this game, each individual player can get their own personal interpretation of how Rachel was. So yeah, it can create a bit. Let me use an example to see what I mean. Let's take a look at Pixar's Onward. Okay, in Pixar's Onward, we don't really get to know how Ian and Barley's dad was, and that's because it didn't matter. The story was about the brotherly love between Ian and Barley. That's it, and it wasn't about the dad himself. It was about the impact the dad made on the family, right? We got to hear about how the father was through a testimony from one of his close friends, from the mom, and all. Yes, Whips.
The price
so great
is
talking to
always
you
right.
You're so funny. Anyway, yeah. So basically, we heard about the dad, and of course, we even heard that recording that Ian listens to in that one scene, and that allowed us to get a good idea of how beloved the father
Oh my
was.
God, Victoria and Nathan are actually concerned for us.
Remember, in this timeline, they're apparently friendlier.
Which makes me wonder if the Prescotts are also nicer in this universe too, maybe? So...
Well, William just said that William just said that he doesn't like Joyce working for the Prescotts, so I'm guessing the Prescotts are probably still not exactly saints, but who
that,
knows?
or he just doesn't
I mean,
like having
they're
to
a
work for
rich
them in the...
family, so
I can tell you, Shirley, that in the OG timeline, the Prescotts are fucking evil, and we're going to see this for ourselves later. Where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, basically, the reason we never got to know Ian and Barley's dad in Onward is because that wasn't the point. The point was about the impact the dad had on the family that we're following. You know, so the dad, and so now imagine if Pixar were to make a prequel to Onward, where we do indeed meet the dad. Now Pixar has to live up to the hype that the first movie built about him. Right, and you're never going to be able to satisfy everybody because everybody's going to have their own personal view of how awesome the dad was and how specifically he was awesome. The same thing applies to Rachel Amber in this game. The whole idea of making a prequel that we get to know Rachel Amber really shows that Deck 9 didn't understand what Dontnod was trying to do with Rachel's character.
Okay, I am going to have to call a bit of objection on that because, for one, we do get hints that Rachel was not a saint, given how Chloe kind of does tear into Rachel for lying about her getting together with Frank and all that. So, I'm willing to give Deck 9 this. I do get the feeling that how Life is Strange Before the Storm turned out was not really entirely their fault. Like, okay, for one thing, so do we know exactly how development of that game started? Like, was it a case of Deck 9 wanting to do it?
Yes.
Or was it a case of just, Dontnod had a plan for it, but they were busy working on Life is Strange 2, so they just got Deck 9 to make it?
I can answer you there. Apparently what happened was, while Dontnod was planning Life is Strange 2, Deck 9 actually went to Square Enix and apparently pitched the idea to them. So apparently it was Deck 9's idea.
So, one thing I asked, though, did Dontnod, not leave an outline of stuff
Nope.
that they would have wanted or whatnot?
Dontnod had absolutely zero to do with Before the Storm. They were busy with Life is Strange 2 at the time. As well as Vampire. So they had their hands full.
Finally.
Yeah, in that time, Square Enix remained the publisher throughout.
Yeah, but Square Enix actually owns the franchise, so they can give the IP to whoever they want. So
I don't know, I feel like it's a little too easy to just place all the blame on Deck 9 for that one. And again, I don't care for how Rachel turned out either. However, to Deck 9's credit, it's not like Dontnod did not leave the door open for Rachel to be the way she is in that game, because, let's be honest, there is arguably enough to suggest that she was that way.
Okay.
So I don't really take fault with that. What I do take fault with is the execution.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Similar to how I have faults with Chloe's execution in this game. No pun intended.
To give you a basic idea, Shira, not only is Rachel not that interesting in the prequel, the voice actress they got to voice her, Kylie Brown, her performance is honestly pretty bad. To be honest, nothing against her. I'm sure she's a nice lady, but her voice acting performance is not very good in that game.
To be fair, it was during the 2016 strike against video publishers and the voice actors.
I get that, Jova, but this voice actress accepted the role. She's paid to do it, so she should. To be entirely fair, the writing in that game is terrible. So but at the same time, well, we can talk more about her performance in the actual game. But for now, here's the actual bit.
Regardless of the performance, the actual writing, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
All right, Shira, this is the bit.
All right.
Oh my god. Look how little we are there. We look like toys. I remember that day by the lighthouse. My dad was pissed at us. He actually tried to give us a timeout. And you laughed at him. My dad would have banished me.
I say to turn the page.
Basically. Or X if you're playing on the PS4.
Awesome picture. We look so badass in our pirate gear. We should have taken over Arcadia Bay when we had the chance. There's still time.
Alright, let's turn another page.
Oh man.
Oh, look at that. The exact same photo that got us into this mess.
It's hard to believe my dad took that picture only 5 years ago. Literally seems like yesterday. I wish it was. Me too. This photo. Maybe I could. Listen, Max. My respiratory system is failing, and it's only getting worse. I've heard the doctors talking about it when they thought I was zonked out. So I know I'm just putting off the inevitable while my parents suffer along, and I will too. This isn't how I want things to end.
What? What are you saying?
I'm saying that being with you again has been so special. I just wanted to feel like when we were kids running around Arcadia Bay and everything was possible, and you made me feel that way today. I want this time with you.
Don't you even dare, game.
And here
Are
we
you
go.
about to ask her to?
Yes,
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
All you have to do is crank up the IV.
Assisted suicide!
Excuse
Which
me a minute.
makes... Oh boy.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if we'll be hearing from Shiroi again, but, yeah. This is, once again, another Chloe death. Unless you refuse.
She's probably screaming into a pillow or something. Not that I blame her.
Chloe. I can't.
Like,
It wrecks me.
there is so
Like,
much wrong with this.
You are so
Chloe.
disgusting, don't nod.
Okay, look.
I'm giving you the right.
But Joyce.
I get it. Assisted suicide. This is a thing a lot of people do want to properly just die on their own terms and not cause suffering to those around them, sure, but
I can't.
has Chloe never just thought about asking anyone else on this?
Apparently not,
Like,
Jova.
It's kind of an
Apparently not.
awkward thing. Hey, my old friend who I haven't seen in a while. Here, welcome here. Have a good day. Can you help me die now? Like, jeez.
Friend to help me out.
I am going to help you.
I hate this game. I just...
You okay, Shiroi?
This is fucking awful.
I know, right?
So, did you do what Pedro thought you did and screamed into a pillow?
No, but there was a lot of audible
Been wanting to since you
sighing.
got here, right?
Okay.
I needed to walk around the room for a moment.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You know,
Never.
you know what's the thing? You know what's the thing, Shiroi? If you choose to kill her, that's another Chloe
bel-
death added to the
and believe
pile
it-
of Chloe deaths in this game.
So yeah, basically, if you refuse to do it, Shiroi, she gets angry at you. She reverts back to OG. She does the whole OG Chloe thing where she gets it. I thought you were my friend. If you were my friend, you would help me. Like it's just
If you're
like
my friend, you would kill me. It's like,
oh my fucking god. This
That
creative team. This don't nod themselves because to be fair, the staff that made Tell Me Why they're good people.
and they're different, right?
They're completely different, Shiroi. Only one artist, like, and by that I mean artist as an art department. Like as far as I could tell, like, but
They're
writer.
not a problem then, really.
Hold on. Has that absolutely been confirmed, or is
Yes,
that just
I
speculation?
look for the credits myself and did comparisons, Jova. That's what I usually do.
Dang, you looked for all those credits? Wow.
That's how fucking committed I am to this thing, Jova. But anyway, the point is, where was I? Yeah.
Considering how long those credits must be.
Well,
Help me the same way.
well, okay. To be fair, I didn't watch the entire reel, if that's what you're asking. Like, I just skimmed it for the most important aspects, basically. Like the art department, I didn't check every single person, if that's what you're asking. But anyway, the point is, the staff that made Tell Me Why, Shiroi, I can promise you, they're better than this. The people who made this game, however, believe it or not, Shiroi, they're not done being disgusting, because with the second game, they decided to completely top themselves and make something that's even more disgusting than this game, believe it or not.
Well, you told me it's very. You told me. Well, you vaguely told me like
It's like
racism.
it's literally like Michael Koch and Raoul Barbet turned to each other. The directors, for those who don't know, it's like the directors turned to each other and thought, how can we make a game that's even more revolting and disgusting than this one? I know. Let's do a movie about the politics and race relations in America, because we're a French developer and we're totally equipped to talk about that. Apparently.
So, I have to ask, is it overall better or worse than, David Cage's Detroit Become Human, with how that tried to do stuff?
To be
Let's say.
perfectly honest with you, Jova, I'm tempted to say worse, Because for as terrible as Detroit is, it didn't try to paint an entire community as evil, gay-converting monsters.
Oh dear.
See you.
Comparing Detroit Become Human positively to something, that's usually a bad sign.
And
But
you know,
yeah.
that's the sad part, Jova. Both games came out in the same year, 2018.
So, Shiroi, that is 4! Count them 4 times that Chloe can die in this game.
Jova, quick question.
Yes.
Isn't assisted suicide illegal in most states or all states?
For the record, it takes place in
Okay,
Oregon. Is it illegal in Oregon, Jova?
I believe it is legal in some bouts here, but here's the thing. Here's my question. Has Chloe not, consulted the hospital or her parents about this? Again, of all the people she asked, it's literally her friend who she hasn't seen in a while, and as far as she knows, the first day that Max sees her, she asks her to kill her.
No, you see what
Okay.
Sorry.
Um,
You missed the best part, Whips. You remember how Chloe was telling us that I'm totally not trying to guilt trip you? Guess what? She just made an ultimatum: either kill me and put me out of my misery, or I'm not your friend anymore.
Hello?
Anyway.
I should
So
mention,
yeah.
What?
Anyway,
since you asked earlier,
Hold on.
in the
I was
state
about
of-
to answer a question that they asked me.
Yeah, let Joe
Assisted
finish.
suicide is actually legal in
that's literally what I was going to say.
technically 10 states. Well, they asked me in 10 states, but also the District of Columbia, DC.
Can't hide from me.
Okay,
In
so
Oregon, it's been legal since 1997.
okay, that doesn't mean I have to like it though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Regardless of whether or not it's legal, let's point out the fact that she has her friend, who is not a doctor, does not know what she's even doing
Yeah,
with
I'm
this
pretty
medical
sure even if
equipment.
it is legal, you need a medical professional to actually do the assisting.
Yeah.
And like I said, did she not consult anyone else
You're
about
being
this?
so
I get
fucking
this
strange.
maybe thinking that
Oh.
she'll, like, her parents would say no.
She
but,
did, Jova. Basically, she apparently told us that her father and mother are not willing to do it.
For you.
Basically.
I
So apparently,
Okay.
but she's totally not trying to guilt trip you, Shiroi. I'm totally not trying to guilt trip you at all.
about, but come on.
You see what I pointed out? Go on, Jova.
Yeah.
You're my best friend.
In case you were wondering,
But
assisted
you and a great
suicide is
family,
illegal
what's to
in
be sorry
Britain.
for? We'll be best
Well,
friends forever.
good for you guys.
Well, this game doesn't take place in Britain.
Listen, whatever happened,
Well, okay. Okay. I should actually.
I mean, we might need the perspective of someone whose laws might be different in a different country.
Okay, I should actually rephrase what I just said to Dibs. Actually, okay, this is just my personal feelings on the matter. You don't have to agree with me. If someone is
This is stupid.
if someone is over age and they've got to a point where their life is painful and there's nothing to be done and they only have like maybe a few months and it's going to be like, oh, we can make you comfortable if you want. Like, I do believe if that person is over age and is in full capacity of their mental abilities, I believe that that person should be allowed, again, with medical assistance, like Shiroi said. I believe that that is fair because that person, it's that person's life. It should be their call, in my opinion, at least. That being said, that being said, you're not the forced to agree with me. That's just how I feel on the matter, basically.
Regardless, though, no, the way Chloe's going about doing it is terrible. Like, and again, like, maybe if they, like, okay, it is messed up entirely that it's literally just the first day that, as far as she knows, Max sees her again, that she's asking her to do this to her as well.
Yep.
Like, holy cow.
Not to mention,
And
am I the only one who's
know,
noticing something? But go ahead, Joe. I thought you were done.
And you know what's sad? She's still a better person over there than she is in the main timeline. Because at least she's just asking to do herself in. No, remember, in the main timeline, she'll get mad at Max for not trying to kill
Let's steal from the handicapped.
Anyway,
Am I the only one who's noticing something? So basically, I actually do like this line. So let me point this out.
Whoa, down, Max. You get one kiss, now you're all over me?
I'm so
Hold on.
glad you're here.
You sound
Hey,
high.
question.
but thanks for
Why
the-
is the first time
Since
she
we were up all night playing
affected the
CSI
future, she
Arcadia
ended
Bay,
up
I was still
outside in
spaced
the
out here
school,
trying to
but
put all this info
now in
together.
this timeline she goes back to Chloe's room?
I don't
Max,
fucking
did
know.
you forget
I want to point that line out because that line is funny. Like, oh, okay.
Kind of funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for the morning growth.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you guys. When I first played the game and saw that scene, I've been teasing Vanessa regularly with that line where I would just, hey Vanessa, morning rope.
I will give him. That's like finally an actual funny line.
But let me. Okay, can I just mention something?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what this game is telling me is that this entire detour into a different timeline was just a waste of my time. What exactly did this accomplish? We reverted back to the original timeline. We didn't learn anything that we didn't already know. Max didn't really learn any major lessons. This was just a pointless detour to emotionally manipulate you even further. Like seriously, let's think about this for a moment. What exactly, if we remove this part of the story where Max gets sent to a different timeline, would it change anything? Like you could literally remove this bit from the game and nothing would be lost. This is just filler and terrible filler for the record. Seriously, what was the point of this?
Part of me does wonder if we were supposed to get more alternate timelines, since they did release novels that also looked into other alternate timelines, which could have been an interesting bout here and there. But yeah, no, this is, games-wise, this is the only time we really get this. Well, okay, technically we do get alternate timelines later on, but again, that has to do. My best guess, Pedro, is that this is to foreshadow what happens at the very end of the game.
Okay, Shiroi, go ahead.
God, I'm worried about the ending now from that line. Okay. Euthanasia is a complicated subject. Sometimes it is viable. Like, there are people, even from this country, who will go to countries where it is legal. And, yeah, as Pedro talked about the frame of mind kind of thing, from what I've seen in interviews and such, they basically check your mental state from beginning to end for the whole process to say, like, and if there's even any kind of doubt, it's like, no, you can't go through with this. Like, Chloe probably wouldn't be too allowed to go through it, and I imagine the reason that it may not have been brought up before is because her parents, you know, really don't want to lose their child.
Okay, to be fair, at this point in time, chronologically speaking, she's in her early 20s. So, to be fair, she is an adult.
Well, wait,
But
hold on.
okay, sometimes issues like that can be muddied because of parents and guardians.
And keep in mind, like,
They
if she's
can
been...
veto her decisions even though she is an adult. but yes,
There is
Roman?
also the matter that if she's been in traction for all this time, that means that she's been in her parents' custody for years, which, yeah, that really does muddy the waters in what jurisdictions she has on the matter, given how, you know,
Yeah,
technically
again,
an adult
like they
or no.
could have all control over the situation, basically. But okay, I understand where she's coming from, and she wants to have like this happy memory, you know, like no one wants to die miserable, I guess. I don't know, but I guess. Asking her to do that though is a lot, and getting mad that she's apprehensive is such a horrible thing to do.
But I'm not trying to.
like,
But I'm not trying to guilt
ways-
trip you.
Like, and
I agree with Jover in that I genuinely believe she meant that at the time. This right now, I get you was emotional, but you gotta understand, you literally just asked your best friend, who you haven't seen in a little bit, to kill you and then live with that for the rest of her life.
Like, and here's another thing, like, that moment kind of comes out of nowhere. Like I mentioned, Chloe was not that selfish, at least we weren't led to believe that. And you know what, and I get it, she's technically doing this for altruistic reasons. It's draining her parents of their time, energy, and money and whatnot.
It's also
But
a
all
big
this-
life change for her, which, like, because I'm speaking as somebody who's been disabled from birth. For people who become disabled, it's a very different kind of life change. Like the transition period you have to go through, it is like terrifying. So I can understand like how she feels, but still, this is bad. This is terrible. I hate it. I really hate this.
Let me put it like this. I think I can sum this game in a nutshell. It has good intentions. I'm willing to believe that their intentions are good. And what they're tackling is very interesting subject matter, but the execution just is not working.
They're
Like,
tackling
hey,
subject matter they have no fucking business doing. So
Yeah, that's
and
my
you know what's
basic
that,
problem.
Roy? You know what's that, Roy? I know enough about Life is Strange 2 to know that it's going to get worse.
This is the
now
big.
Believe it or
when
not-
Alice wakes up to get ready for work, I'm just gonna go up to her and say it got worse.
This is the big. That's exactly what you said. The big problem with this game is that Michael Koch and Raul Barbey want to tackle serious issues, but they don't have the capacity to pull them off. Stop trying to do this, guys. You're not talented enough. In hell, you're not talented. Period. As far as I'm aware, because the only two games that they have that I know of, because they haven't really done anything since Life is Strange 2, based on it, and not that I'm surprised.
Creator killer.
I'm sorry, what?
So Life is Strange 2 sounds like it's a creator killer from what you're describing.
Trust me, Jova. When you get to that game, you'll see exactly why. It's like this. But the point is, guys, if you ever make another game again, don't.
Sorry.
Or hell, don't make a story-driven game because you are not good at telling stories. You are
Make
not.
a platformer or something.
Dwibs, you've been quiet.
I have some more
Sorry.
stuff to say,
Oh.
but unless Dwibs doesn't have anything to say,
Well,
maybe we should-
you guys are talking then.
Sure. Go ahead, Dwibs. Give your thoughts before Jova closes this out.
Yeah. Okay. You know what this you know what this was giving me vibe to.
Go on.
What?
Yeah, especially the way the way her chair and that was designed.
Mhm.
It reminded me of how were they taking inspiration from like how Christopher Reeve was when he was when he ended up confined to a wheelchair and that.
I don't. Okay, to be fair, a lot of people end up in a wheelchair, so I don't think they were taking special inspiration from Christopher Reeve. Like, that would be a weird thing to do, but I guess the possibility isn't out there. But why? I'm curious. Where are you coming from with that?
It reminded me of it a lot. Maybe it's because I'll admit I haven't really seen in real life a lot, or if at all, with my own eyes, people who have ended up in that situation. So that's the closest I can come up with. But in terms of execution, from what I can tell, okay, it's nice that it's like I said before, it's nice that Chloe isn't a complete bitch like she was in the main timeline. However, as like I said, I just wish it came about through character development, not I know a great way to make people feel sorry for him. Put him in a wheelchair, or wipe their memories, or do what George Wood suggested in the Tomb Raider 2 review. Have Tomb Raider 3 have Laura have breast cancer.
Indeed.
Seriously, what the fuck? Because yeah, that's not. It's like that's the only. It's like that's like something a writer does when he or she can't think of anything else to try and improve their character. Yeah, I can't do character
Thank you,
development, and I literally can't think of anything else. I just put him in a bloody wheelchair.
Dwibs, you win the Pedro's and Analysis of the Day award.
Yay! Great. Why is it invisible?
Because
As I would love to discuss more. I think we shouldn't keep this part going for too long. I had some more stuff to say, but I'll probably bring that up in the next part.
all right, tune in next time, everybody, where we're going to actually do something else that's not related to Chloe. We're going to visit Kate, see how she's doing.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah.
See you for that.